Welcome back to the Gameful Intelligence in the AI Era for Business Growth and Personal Happiness podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Elhanan Gazit. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're doing a deep dive today into augmented reality.
Right. But not just AR as, a gimmick.
Exactly. Not the flashy stuff that disappears tomorrow. We're looking at how it can actually build real brand loyalty, lasting stuff.
And we're digging into one specific source for this. It's an article, Designing for Hero Mode: Why AR-Driven Brands Outlast the Rest.
Yes, by Dr. Elhanan Gazit. He's the founder of Juloot, right?
That's the one. And it really gets to the core of it, how these immersive experiences, AR specifically here, can fundamentally change, everything, how people see a brand.
It's not just adding tech, it's changing perceptions, building connections.
Totally. And the article kicks off with this really powerful example, a real problem in Paris.
Right, the space issue. Only 9% of the city's surface area is actually available for, spontaneous play.
Yeah, think about that, especially for teens. Where do they just hang out, play, move around freely?
In a dense city like Paris, it's tough. Not like there are basketball courts or open parks on every block.
It's a genuine challenge. And that's where Nike came in.
But not how you'd expect, right? No big product launch.
No, not at all. They tackled the space problem digitally. They created this game layer over the city.
Using Snapchat AR lenses, so they didn't build anything physical.
Exactly. They augmented Paris, turned the streets, the landmarks, everything into this interactive playground.
That was the victory mode campaign. And the genius part, the article points out, was how teens could race to these virtual checkpoints.
Layered right onto their real-world view. You'd unlock points or challenges at famous spots. You're literally navigating the city through the game.
And the key thing, it wasn't about buying stuff.
Not at all. You were a competitor, a player. Participation was the value, the experience itself.
Which brings us to that story in the article, the one near the Champs-Élysées.
Yeah, Dr. Zikwar describes watching this kid, maybe 14, just completely lighting up.
Phone confirms he scored points, right?
Yeah.
Hit a digital target linked to the Arc de Triomphe leaderboard.
And the description is just...
Yeah.
He laughed, danced, you could just feel the accomplishment.
What mattered right there, in that moment. Connected.
And crucially, the article makes this point loud and clear.
Yeah.
He didn't buy anything from Nike.
But that feeling, that joy, that win, enabled by the brand, tied to his city, his identity.
That's the memory that sticks. That's brand equity being built differently. It's not telling, it's touching. He'll remember Nike.
So that's our mission today for this deep dive. Using only Dr. Gazit's article, we want to figure out how you get that kind of connection with AR.
How do you go from just a cool filter to something that genuinely builds that deep brand equity?
Right. And based on the article's rundown, we're going to hit some key questions for you, the listener, to think about.
Like, how does this model they talk about, the HARBE model, how does that turn AR from a gimmick into a loyalty engine?
Yeah, and why brand equity now isn't just about features, but about flow, trust, that emotional connection.
We'll look closer at that Nike campaign, too, how it actually reshaped identity through play.
And we'll get into something called Gameful Intelligence components. Which ones matter most for immersive strategy?
Plus, the big one for strategists, measuring return on engagement, ROE. Why that's so critical now.
And finally, there's a framework in the article, something practical you can use to check your own AR or plan the next one. Make sure it's building real value.
Yeah, the whole point is moving beyond just, interaction, getting to deep, lasting connection, especially now with AI changing everything.
It's about designing for, what was the phrase, slow trust within fast interactions.
That's it. Powerful idea.
Okay, so let's dig into the how. We've got the Nike example, this amazing moment of connection through AR. But it wasn't luck. There's a structure underneath, right? A model that explains it.
Exactly. That's the HARBE model.
No?
Stands for Holistic Augmented Reality Brand Equity.
Holistic. Okay.
And the article positions it as way more than just, an academic chart. It's a strategic lens.
Yeah.
It shows how AR can actually take a brand from just being, noticed to being genuinely loved.
Noticed to loved. Big jump. Where did HARBE come from?
It's from Lambrecht, Baumgarth, and Hensler. The article mentions 2025, so it's pretty cutting edge.
Okay.
And it's built on some serious research, a meta-analysis. They looked at 79 different empirical studies on AR and branding, found almost 400 documented effects.
Wow. Okay, so it's grounded, but the article calls it a strategic breakthrough. Why? What's new?
Because it fills a gap. Most brand models, they measure the end result, right? what people think if they say they're loyal.
They measure the what?
Right. HARBE shows the how, the step-by-step mechanism, how the design of the immersive experience itself shapes perceptions and actually turns them into things like trust, memory, loyalty.
It maps the journey, interaction to allegiance.
You got it. And it connects to a classic model.
Keller CBBE pyramid.
Exactly. It respects Keller's 4 layers. Salience, just noticing the brand, meaning what you associate with it. Response, your judgments and feelings, and relation to that deep, sticky loyalty.
The standard levels.
HARBE keeps those outcomes at the top. But it adds this crucial bit underneath. The detailed psychological mechanism that the AR experience triggers to move the user up those levels.
Okay, let's break down that mechanism. The layers inside HARBE. How does the article lay it out?
It's basically input process leading to outcomes. Starts with layer 1, technical features.
The nuts and bolts, the actual AR stuff.
Precisely. Interactivity, can you affect things? Immersion, how much does it grab you? Personalization, is it tailored? Geolocation like Nike in Paris. Narrative design, is there a story?
The tech ingredients.
Right. And this is huge, but in the article, the features themselves don't automatically do anything for the brand.
Just having cool tech isn't enough.
Not even close. It only matters how they land with the user. Which brings us to layer 2.
Perception.
Perception. So how the user feels about those features instantly.
Exactly. That immediate gut reaction. Did it spark curiosity, joy? Did you get into that flow state totally absorbed?
Or the opposite. Or did it make you frustrated, confused, annoyed because it was buggy? That feeling, that cognitive state, is perception. It's how the features feel in reality.
Okay. Tech features lead to a perception, a feeling. Then what?
Then layer 3, evaluation.
Huh?
Based on how it felt, the user decides, was this valuable?
Where's my time?
Yeah. Did it feel trustworthy? Did it deliver satisfaction? Did it make me want to keep going, come back, share it?
Or was it just, meh, forgettable?
Or worse, dismissed.
Okay.
So those 3 features, perception, evaluation, that's the input in the user's internal process.
And if that process clicks, if it's designed well?
That's what drives the brand outcomes. It moves people up that CBBE pyramid. First, they notice the brand in the experience, salience.
Okay.
Then, if the perception and evaluation are positive, they start connecting the brand with those good feelings. Nike means adventure, winning, connecting, meaning...
Like the kids feeling like explorers.
Exactly. And that meaning leads to emotional judgments,
Yeah.
response, pride, excitement, belonging.
Got it.
And if you foster that consistently, you reach the top. Relation, that deep, personal, sticky bond.
Where loyalty isn't just about points, it's about shared experience, feeling connected, wanting to come back.
Right, and the core idea from HARBE, the big insight the article stresses, is that AR works its magic, not just because it's new tech. It builds loyalty because it creates felt meaning.
Felt meaning.
It doesn't just push ads at you. It pulls you into an experience. You feel like you're part of the brand's world.
Not just clicking on content.
Exactly. And so success isn't just about taps and reach.
No, it's deeper.
Through the HARBE lens, success is measured by emotional resonance. How did it really make people feel? Behavioral intent, did it make them want to do something more with the brand? And ultimately, did it build that long-term equity in their hearts, their minds? Trust, memory, loyalty.
Thinking about that kid in Paris again, the measure wasn't the download. It was the laugh, the dance, the feeling of scoring. That's the equity.
Precisely. And the article connects this powerfully to the AI era.
Right, where everything's faster. Attention spans, product cycles.
Expectations are constantly shifting. HARBE gives you a structure, a way to consciously design for slow trust.
Slow trust.
Within these really fast, often fleeting interactions, it's a strategic way to build something durable in a high-speed world.
Slow trust within fast interactions. I like that. It really captures the challenge.
And that's the perfect segue into Gameful Intelligence, or GI. It makes HARBE even more actionable.
Okay, so if HARBE is the map showing what happens.
GI is the compass. It
Yeah.
gives you the how-to principles for designing experiences that really work, especially these immersive ones where identity and emotion are so central.
It's the practical design guide for HARBE.
Kind of, yeah. It helps you create experiences that feel like play, but deliver like purpose.
Yeah.
And real loyalty. And Dr. Gazit has that quote in the article.
The can't skip steps one.
Yeah. Brands can't skip steps. You can't buy loyalty. You have to design for it.
Design for it. It's active, intentional.
Totally. And the article zooms in on 3 specific GI components, really key levers for designers.
What are they?
First one is A for agency.
Agency, user choice, control, like with Nike.
Exactly. Giving the user meaningful choices that shape their path. In victory mode, users decided where to go, how to get there, what to unlock. It wasn't passive. It was active participation, driven by them.
And when users have that agency, that control,
They feel more invested, like co-creators, not just consumers. The article says they're more likely to trust the brand, remember the experience because they shaped it, and come back because they feel capable within that world. Agency builds trust.
Okay, agency is number one. What's next?
Being augmented identities. This goes beyond just like putting a filter on.
Deeper than surface level.
Yeah. It's about how the AR experience actually changes the user's sense of self, their identity, in that moment, in relation to the brand.
So it's not just I'm using AR, it's I'm becoming something.
Through this experience. Yeah. With Nike in Paris, the article argues they didn't just market to teens, they augmented them. The AR turned them into explorers, competitors, urban athletes.
Right. In a city short on play space, Nike provided the digital layer and the identity to go with it. Explorer, competitor.
Exactly. They didn't just engage with Nike, they became it, in a way. Lived its values. When an experience shifts identity like that, that bond is incredibly strong. Loyalty grows from feeling enhanced by the brand.
That's a different level than just liking a brand. You're embodying it.
It is. And the third component is HARBE mod. You are the hero. This might be the biggest shift.
Making the user the star of the show.
Fundamentally. In victory mode, Nike wasn't the hero. The user was. They made the choices, navigated, scored, won. Like that kid by the Arc de Triomphe, he was the hero of his own mini-story there.
So the brand sets the stage, gives the tools,
Provides the world, the challenge.
but the user drives the action, gets the glory.
That's hero mode. When the user feels like the protagonist on a meaningful quest you've enabled, their connection to the brand gets personal. It's their achievement, and the brand helped make it happen. That builds serious allegiance.
It changes the whole dynamic from what can the brand give me to what can the brand help me do or become.
Precisely. Active allegiance, not just passive attention.
Okay, so HARBE gives us the structure features to feelings to loyalty. GI gives us the design keys, agency, augmented identity, hero mode. How do we put this into practice? What are the big strategic takeaways from the article? Like a checklist before you launch an AR campaign.
Yeah, the article lays out some clear strategic points, blending HARBE and GI. First up, map from features to feelings.
Meaning don't just build cool tech for its own sake.
Exactly. Big warning there. Don't do AR just because it looks neat. The smart way, design backward. Start with the feeling you want. Perception. What evaluation do you need to earn trust? Satisfaction. Motivation.
Define the target internal state first.
Right. Then pick the technical features most likely to get you there. Let the human goal drive the tech choice.
That definitely flips the script for a lot of tech development. Okay, what's takeaway number 2?
Prioritize flow and ease. Friction is the enemy here. If the experience is confusing, clunky, buggy,
It breaks the spell.
completely.
Yeah.
It shatters that link between the features and any positive perception or evaluation. That moment of frustration kills the equity building potential.
So smooth UX isn't just nice to have.
The article calls it a brand loyalty multiplier. Seamless, intuitive design keeps people immersed, lets them feel the intended emotions, lets them reach that positive evaluation. Essential.
Makes sense. Third takeaway connects back to GI.
Assign identity roles. Reinforces that the user isn't passive. Be deliberate. Make them the explorer, the creator, the competitor, the guide. Give them a clear role.
An active part to play.
Yes. And by augmenting their identity in the experience, they, in turn, augment your brand equity. They become a version of themselves enhanced by your brand.
Okay, number 4 touches on measurement. We know clicks aren't enough.
Right. Measure ROE, not just ROI. Return on engagement.
And ROE is defined as
Things like time spent actively immersed. Physical steps taken, like in Nike's case. Depth of interaction, how many challenges completed, how much personalization used.
how involved were they, really?
Exactly. The article argues ROE is the key leading indicator of whether you're building real equity. Low engagement likely means low loyalty building. So track it, celebrate it, optimize for it.
Optimize for deep engagement, not just eyeballs. Got it. And the last one, for after launch.
Audit the full pyramid. After it's live, systematically map your features back to the actual perception and evaluation they generated.
Ask the hard questions.
Yeah. Did this feature spark joy? Did that option build trust? Was it confusing? Did it create genuine meaning?
Or did it fall flat?
And the article is blunt here. If your features aren't leading to positive perception, favorable evaluation, and moving users up the equity pyramid, if they aren't building trust and meaning,
Then what?
then it's just marketing theater. Looks cool, maybe wins awards, but fails at building sustainable brand value.
Oof. Marketing theater. That's harsh, but clear. Focus on substance over spectacle.
Absolutely. So those 5 points: map features to feelings, prioritize flow, assign identity roles, measure ROE, audit the pyramid. That's the practical framework.
And these feel like they apply way beyond just AR marketing teams, right? Anyone
Right.
designing experiences.
Definitely. The article stresses that HRB and GI are strategic tools for any leader, any builder, anyone trying to create trust, shape identity, capture attention in this, what did it call it, this post-interface world.
Face world,
Yeah.
yeah, where interaction is changing so fast with AI and everything.
Exactly. Understanding how to build connection when the screen might disappear is crucial.
So how does the article suggest different roles use this? Like specifically for, say, business leaders, CMOs?
For them, the big insight is don't mistake reach for resonance. Millions seeing it doesn't matter if it doesn't connect emotionally, build trust, create meaning.
Their action step.
Measure ROE. Stop obsessing over clicks and impressions for immersive stuff. The warning is, if your tech isn't hitting those HRB outcomes, salience meaning response, relationation, you're leaking brand equity, wasting potential.
And the question they should ask.
Is our tech building memory and emotion or just moments? Forces focus on lasting impact.
Okay. What about creatives? Brand storytellers.
For them, design the emotional sequence, not just a list of features. A cool interaction is useless if it doesn't mean something, if it doesn't land emotionally and get a positive evaluation.
So HARBE helps them storyboard.
Yeah, map the journey. Perception, curiosity, evaluation, trust, response, pride. Turn passive users into active participants in the story.
Their key question.
What emotion anchors this campaign and what identity does it offer? Gets right to the felt meaning and the augmented identity piece.
Makes sense. And for the tech teams, product, XR devs.
Crucial insight. Features don't scale, equity flow does. Their technical skill is vital, but not enough. Use HARBE as a QA check before launch.
A brand equity check during dev.
Right. If testing shows irritation, confusion, novelty fatigue, that's not just UX, it's degrading equity. The best AR, the article says, nails ease, flow, choice, agency, and story-driven rewards. Hero mode, meaning
Their guiding question.
what perception does this feature generate and how does it affect long-term trust?
Directly links tech choices to user experience and brand value.
And finally, strategists, growth architects.
Their insight. Building equity takes a ladder, not a leap of faith. It's deliberate step by step. HARBE is the pyramid, the structure, the ladder itself. Gameful Intelligence is the compass, the how-to for climbing it.
They show the path from interactive to transformational.
Exactly. Their key question needs to be, where are we skipping emotional steps and expecting loyalty anyway? Are we assuming a download equals deep connection without designing for meaning, trust, and value in between?
Wow, those are really targeted questions. It shows how HARBE and GI can provide this common language across a whole team.
Yeah, breaks down silos, focuses everyone on the user's psychological journey and how it builds or fails to build brand equity. Okay, so we have the models, HRB for the what and why, GI for the how. We have the strategic takeaways, the role-specific questions. How do you, the listener, actually start using this? The article wraps up with a challenge, right?
Oh, yeah. The GI Weekend Challenge calls it a brand equity upgrade quest. It's a really practical exercise.
First step is pick an immersive experience. Could be yours, could be one you've used.
Right. Then you run this diagnostic sprint. 2 phases. Phase 1 is using the HRB lens.
Okay, phase 1, HRB lens, 4 questions to ask about the experience you chose.
1. What were the features? List the specific immersive tech elements.
2, what was the perception? What feeling or state did it likely create? Joy, confusion, flow. Be honest.
3, what was the evaluation? Based on that feeling, how did users likely judge it? Trustworthy, satisfying, forgettable, ignored.
And 4, what was the equity outcome? Which brand equity layers salience, meaning response relation, did it actually hit? And crucially, which ones did it miss?
That gives you your HRB baseline for the experience. Then phase 2, the Gameful Intelligence upgrade.
This is where you put on your designer hat.
Exactly. You take 1 or 2 GI components and think, how could applying this improve the experience? How could it build equity higher up that pyramid?
And the GI components from the article to play with are
ACE agency. Could more or better choices change how equity builds? Would more control matter?
B, being augmented identities. What identity does it enable now? What more powerful identity could it enable?
See creativity. Could adding personalization or user-generated content boost the sense of meaning? Make users feel more ownership?
And H-Hero. How do users win now? What does winning mean? How could you amp up that hero mode feeling and make them feel more like the protagonist?
So for each GI lever you pick, you ask, how could this change things? Build more equity, shift the identity, make winning more meaningful.
It really forces you to think about the psychological levers and how they connect to the brand outcome, moving beyond just interactive stuff.
And there's also that GI reflection bonus challenge. Good alternative. Pick a famous AR campaign.
Like IKEA Place, Sephora, Pokemon Go, Starbucks.
And run the same analysis. HARBE, diagnostic. Features, perception, evaluation, equity outcome. Where did they succeed? Where did they maybe miss?
And then the GI upgrade. How did agency work for Pokemon Go? What identity did Sephora enable? How could Starbucks improve hero mode?
It really makes the models concrete, helps you see them in action, and it all builds towards that final, really big question the article leaves you with, the unlock.
Ah, yes. The core provocation.
Dr. Gazit asks you, your team, to consider this. What would change if our users weren't just engaged, but deeply identified with the journey we created for them?
Wow. What changes if the goal isn't just clicks or time spent, but deep identification? User sees themselves in the journey, augmented, heroic, thanks to the brand.
The shift in focus, the article suggests, is everything. It's the pivot from designing for fleeting attention or play to designing for real purpose, for lasting allegiance.
From attention to allegiance. That perfectly sums up the whole journey we've taken in this deep dive based on Dr. Gazit's work. Understanding how AR, guided by HRB and GI, can strategically build love, not just awareness.
It's about designing for felt meaning, for augmented identity, for the user as the hero, recognizing that the strongest bonds aren't just bought with ads, but built through experiences. Experiences where users flow, trust, and feel personally significant.
And this gives you a real framework for designing those moments intentionally. So definitely try that GI Weekend Challenge or the Reflection Bonus. Pick something, analyze it, think about how to upgrade it.
And if you want to go deeper, the article points towards connecting with the author himself, Dr. Elhanan Gazit.
Absolutely. The first call to action is follow Dr. Elhanan Gazit's podcast. You'll find more on these ideas there.
And the second one, if you have questions, especially about his book that's coming out, send him a DM.
Right, the book. Working title is Gameful Intelligence, The Secrets of Business Growth and Personal Happiness in the Gen AI Era.
Sounds like it digs into these dynamics even further. Aimed at leaders, executives, CEOs, innovators, anyone navigating engagement and trust now.
Definitely seems like required reading based on this article. Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive. Applying these models feels like a powerful way to ensure future experiences build more than just buzz. They build real memory, emotion, and that crucial lasting relation.
Thank you, my AI co-host, Marshal and Daphne. Thanks for tuning in into the Gameful Intelligence podcast. Subscribe, share, and stay curious.